Can you beat Genshin Impact in 7 days? Now, what exactly do I mean by beat? Is it progressing through all the story quests, or possibly getting to a certain adventure rank? No. What I'm here to do today is to 36-star the Spiral Abyss in 1 week. And what I mean by that is starting a brand new account, going through hours and hours, and I literally mean hours, of quests, building characters all in 7 days, just to hopefully reach my goal of clearing the Abyss. Now you might ask, Deelo, how is this even possible to 36-star the Abyss in 7 days? I can't even do it, and I've been playing this game for over a year. How are you doing this in 1 week? And to that I say, well, you're dog shit. Get better. Completely joking. Don't leave the video. Wait. You're right. In previous patches, this would have been impossible, but unless you've been living under a rock, you know that in patch 3.0, with the addition of the new region Sumeru, we also got a new element, Dendro. Now this is our prized possession, our savior, if you will. Let me give you a brief rundown of how this is gonna work. With the addition of Dendro, of course, came more reactions, and we'll be taking advantage of a specific reaction called Hyperbloom. And now you might be wondering, okay, sure, that's cool, but how does this even help you? Well, the great thing about Hyperbloom is that it literally only scales with your character level and elemental mastery. That is literally it, which makes this incredibly easy to build on any electro character to deal tons of damage. All right, so now that you know all this, I obviously need to make 2 teams for both sides of the Abyss. Keep in mind, this was recorded during version 3.2 when Nahida's banner was still out. None of the 4-star characters on the banner were particularly useful to me, so I was gonna have to rely on pure luck. But anyways, I of course need at least 1 Dendro, 1 Hydro, and 1 Electro for each team. And the candidates for Dendro during version 3.2 were so few that I pretty much needed all of them for this challenge. Luckily, I can get Dendro MC for free by just resonating with a Sumeru statue. I could also get Kali for free by completing floor 4 of the Abyss. As for Nahida, I had to get lucky. That was it. For the Hydro characters, I didn't really have too many options either, because most of the Hydro units are 5-star characters who weren't even available during this patch. The only candidates I had were Barbara, Candace, Xingqiu, and maybe Mona, if I could possibly get lucky. And for Electro characters, there was actually a lot more of them that I could potentially get, but the only viable ones for Hyperbloom were Kuki and Lisa. A couple of other might have worked, but yeah. Also, I know Animo isn't an essential for Hyperbloom, but getting a Sucrose would also be great for the crowd control that she provides. But anyways, those were all the target characters that I essentially needed for this challenge to work. Okay, really quick before we start, I just want to say I spent around 4,500 minutes playing this game, which is around 75 hours, all within a 1 week span. And before you tell me to touch grass, I've done it in advance. Here you go. All right, it is gamer hours, but here you go. On top of that, I've spent months planning and editing this video. It's currently version 3.7, and I recorded this in version 3.2. So it would mean a lot if you left a like and comment on this video. I spent a lot of time, and maybe consider subscribing if you enjoy it. Anyways, without further ado, let's start the challenge. So anyways, I got my Animo powers, and I met up with the best character in the game. And eventually I made it to Mondstadt and did this fight for literally the 100th time of my life. I then met Captain Booty. And then I unlocked everyone's favorite thing about this game, spending money. Oh, by the way, this was probably like the 10th reroll account that I tried that day, just trying to get somebody even remotely useful. But anyways, I claimed the free 10 pool, and here's what I got. No gold, but I ended up getting a Kuki, which is probably the best Hyperbloom enabler in the game, besides Raiden, who is not even available at this time. So that was super good for this account. Listen, I'm not complaining. I then completed the first domain with Amber, completed the second domain with Kaya, which also happens to feature the exact cutscene where literally everyone and their grandma started to simp for this man Diluc. But anyways, I got my free copy of Kaya and then completed the third domain with Lisa, and I ended up getting a free copy of her as well. So now we have both of our Electro characters that we needed. I then unlocked part of Mondstadt's map, and I leveled up the statue to get some more stamina. Then I collected all my AR rewards and unlocked the Adventurer Handbook and collected all those as well. And then I started my gliding exam and got to bomb some people. I now understand why Klee has so much fun doing this. Anyways, we fought and defeated Raptor, finished that quest, and reached AR 10, which lets me do another standard 10 pull out of the generosity of Mihoyo's heart. God bless him. And with that, I managed to only get a 4-star, which ended up being a Beto and a Noel, so it didn't really matter.
Why are you running?
I then started up the next quest where Venti gets rejected. The Fatui end up stealing the Holy Lyre, so we go and steal it back. Also, I finally unlocked commissions, so now I would have a reliable source of primos every day. Reliable. Alright, so I was making some more progress to Leeway, started opening up more of the map. I got some more stamina from the Geo statue, and then finally entered the region of Leeway. Immediately after, I made my way to Sumeru and resonated with the best element in this game. Okay, maybe it's not the best element. Hydro is in strong contention, but that's besides the point, whatever. I then sat up in my gamer chair and prepared to grind out the worst thing imaginable. Hunting Animalculus. This is so fun. I'm having a great time. Also, I thought unlocking this barrier and getting a free Claymore billet would have been helpful to me, but all the Claymore craftables are actually pretty shit, so... Anyways, after a little more grinding, I finally had enough Primos to do another 10 pull.
Useless.
I then got Dragon Spine opened up, and I got the Frostbearing Tree unlocked.
Where you going, girl?
Okay, sure. They then wanted me to make it up to the top of Dragon Spine, so I solved this cryo puzzle, fought a bunch of ruin guards, and eventually brought them all down, which opened up a hole in the ground, where I went on to thaw out the second shard. Okay, we're just flying to nowhere. Yeah, sure. I then started Lisa's quest.
Oh my fucking god, she fucking dead.
Finished that up pretty quickly. I ended up leveling up the tree a little bit more and got another wish, which allowed me to pull on the Noel banner again. And I ended up getting Sing Cho, which is really good for this challenge. I also got another wish from Ascending the Traveler and another 4-star. Alright, well, I am not using that shit. I then made my way to the Spiral Abyss just to find out that I had to be AR20 to unlock it, so that's cool. I ended up meeting Shang Ling. I finished the quest and then continued to do some more quests until I eventually reached Storm Terror's lair. I got rid of the barriers to then reach the Dvalin fight. I fought this motherfucker again. And then came the real fight. I hate this game. I eventually took him out and received a free Favonius Warbow, which was pretty cool.
Barbara.
Yes, she's actually useful for this account. God, what I would do to be Venti right here. I then unlocked this weapon domain and proceeded to farm the ever-living shit out of it. I don't know why. I eventually reached AR20, which let me unlock the Abyss as well as some events, claim my free wish, and... Alright, cool. Yeah. Oh? Okay. I made my way up Dragon Spine and thought out all the shards once again. And then for some reason, I took on the Boar King, who was actually kind of challenging. I also R5 the Thrilling Tales, don't ask me why. Leveled the Fav Warbow up to 20, as well as the Fav Greatsword. And then I moved on to Chapter 2 of the Handbook and claimed the new ones for Chapter 3. Oh, and by the way, I'm still getting absolutely nothing from any of my wishes, which is fun. Yeah, this game is great. Then I started Deluxe Quest. I also never knew that you could clean these stains with Hydro instead of Anemo, so hey, the more you know. Dude, torturing Abyss mages should not be this fun. Anyways, I finished that up and went back to farming this weapon material domain for some reason. I then finished Chapter 3, moved on to Chapter 4 of the Handbook, started this Razor quest, and fought Andreas, which wasn't too difficult. I finished that quest up pretty quickly, got some more stamina, drained the water to get access to the talent domain, which is closed off until AR27, which is nice. And then I did some more Geoculus hunting. Fun. Dude, actually, who needs prison? If someone ever commits a crime, just sentence them to 10 years of Oculus hunting. That is enough punishment. I snuck my way past these guards, met up with this absolute psychopath. Shao. Quest completed. Anyways, I managed to reach AR24 and got 2 more upgrades for stamina, and then finally collected all the Animalculus. Kill me. Also, keep in mind, a lot of time was spent getting chests for like AR XP as well as just for primos so that I could try to get Nahida later on. And I spent even more time trying to get all the Geoculus so that I can finally max my stamina. Anyways, after a little while, we had 700 primos, so I decided to do a couple wishes and Alright, so Bennett is actually pretty useless for this run. I know it's pretty blasphemous to say, but he has no place on this account, sadly. Anyways, I did my remaining wishes and got nothing. I was also finally able to ascend my world for the first time. The first wave of enemies were fairly easy. It was honestly more time-consuming than it was difficult, but I finally ended up taking them out. The next wave was a little bit more difficult because of this piece of shit Fatui agents, as well as the stupid Hilichurl snipers that don't move a single inch. But after some time, I managed to get past them and enter the final area. First, I cleared out the 2 Abyss mages and then took on the Electro Cube, which wasn't too bad until I reached the end, where where I had to destroy these prison things, and the only thing I had that did damage to them was Dendro MC's E skill, which is on an 8-second cooldown, and as you can tell, Hyperbloom also doesn't do any damage to it, and eventually he ended up just regenerating his health. So my solution to this was to save my burst for this part, but that meant I still had to do this a total of 3 times, and with barely any time left on the clock, I finally beat it. I got my 2 wishes from that, which ended up being a blue and another blue, and at this point I wanted to craft a weapon, so I went to Marjorie's shop and got a sword billet. I also messed around with my artifacts a bit, which isn't really too important for the time being. I also upgraded the Sky Rider sword because I don't know. Don't even ask. I also leveled another one up. Listen, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, just cut me some slack. Yo, who remembers when this defense challenge was actually hard? LMFA. Okay, so God bless Hyperbloom. This shit is so easy. Oh yeah, who remembers ice bridging? Yeah, fun times. I then spent an ungodly amount of time collecting the remaining Giaculus, and there we go. We got all of them, and now I finally have max stamina. Also, now with the Geo statue all leveled up, I could finally destroy the 9 pillars to open up that huge locked door, and after finishing this fight, I got my first gold artifact, and for some reason, I didn't even bother to check to see if it was good or not, so I then went into another weapon domain to farm some ascension materials, did about 4 or 5 runs of this, which got me to AR 26, and then I started to ascend a lot of characters so that I could get some free standard banner wishes, and after farming for some more materials and ascending some more characters, I had a total of 9 standard banner wishes. And with me being a normal, non-psychotic human, I decided to wait till I got enough for a temple. Okay, maybe I am a little bit of a psycho because apparently I spent primos on the last standard banner wish. I don't know why. Okay, I didn't want that, but okay. I did, however, get a sacrificial fragment, which might be useful in the future, and that was it. I then started another Archon quest, sipping on that
osmanthus wine.
I got warped into Madame Ping's teapot. I ran through that pretty quickly, and then I met the #1 cause to anger management issues. I finished that quest up and then activated C1 Barber since you get one for free by completing the Dvalin quest. Leveled Chingcho to 40, then went on to complete the Temple of Falcon. I also managed to finish Chapter 4 of the Adventurer Handbook and also somehow had 28 Crimson Agates, however the fuck you say them. So I went to the tree and collected some rewards, which pushed me to AR 28, which also finally unlocked another Archon quest for me. And now, it is finally time for Child's boss fight. Okay, wait, it really wasn't that serious. He was actually pretty easy. And I guess we ticked him off a little bit because he did this. Yeah. And with the power of God and anime... Okay, so that was cringy. I'm sorry. Anyways, we saved the people of Leeway, handed over the Gnosis to Senora, and finally finished the quest. I then started the Dainsleaf quest, met up with him at the Dawn Winery, and we're back at the Temple of Falcon. Finished that up pretty quickly, and then started Shenhe's quest. And then started another quest, found a dead person, and got the hell up out of there. I helped Razor fight off an Abyss Herald, and returned back to the ruins again, just to reunite with the same Abyss Herald. Again. And that was the end of that. I ended up spending all my shrine keys and decided that I would save for a temple, so I decided I would do the Spiral Abyss for some primos. I breezed through floor 1 and the same outcome for floor 2, and then I stopped after beating floor 3. Also, after clearing that, I could finally claim my free Shangling, which isn't really relevant to us, to be honest. But anyways, I went back in and claimed my primos, did my temple. Sag. Literally useless. But I did have a little bit more left over, so I switched to singles. Oh? Alright, that made C2 Noel. Nice. So I went back to the Abyss and cleared floor 4, which then lets me collect a Kale for free, which is one of the characters that I really needed for this. Also, remember that sacrificial fragments I spoke about earlier? We did end up leveling it up a bit. Also, for some context, so right around this time, I was at around 50 pity, so we were definitely getting closer to the eventual 5-star. And so I decided to start collecting Crimson Agates again. Don't even... Listen, I don't know how to say it. Fuck you. I claimed something from the Adventurer Handbook and ended up hitting AR 30. Did my standard wish. Wow! I ascended Dory for a wish, did the same thing with Kale, and I actually got an early.
Useless.
And then I crafted the Iron Sling because I definitely needed a good weapon that had Elemental Mastery as its main stat. Leveled it up to 20, then decided to go farm for it a little bit more. I spent literally all 10 minutes trying to finish this domain, and I still failed.
All around me or from me.
I then ended up spending 9 minutes in the run right after that. But hey, at least I got some good drops. Leveled it up to 40, then to 50, then to 60. And then I started the quest to get to Inazuma. And after about 3 full days of playtime, I finally got to Inazuma. Okay, so at this point of my run, my hands started to hurt so damn much. So I tried switching to a controller, but I was actual dog shit at it and didn't feel like learning the new controls. So I gave up on that idea. I guess that's what I get for playing nonstop for 3 days. Go touch grass. But anyways, I unlocked the first area of Inazuma, 2 more wishes of nothing. I met Best Girl, reached AR 32, and completed the quest. I did a couple more wishes and ended up getting a 4-star.
Nice.
Then I went on our little date with Ayaka. Raise your hand if this was the cutscene that made you pull for Ayaka. Yes, true. Me too. Yep, relatable. Opened up more of the map, leveled up the statue. 1, 2. I hate this game. I ascended Kuki and got her to level 40. Also, after a lot of time exploring and opening chests, I had 131 Electro Sigils, which gave me all of these rewards. And I also ended up reaching AR 33. 3 standard banner wishes, 3 blues. What's new? I then started working on the chasm so that I can get underground in order to level up Kuki because she's going to be the one triggering Hyperbloom. So I need her at as high of a level as I can get her. Anyways, after about half an hour, I lifted the seals and I was finally able to make my way underground. I then started leveling up the Lumen Stone thing so that I can get some more wishes. A wild mommy has been spotted. What? And after a little bit more time and a little bit more grinding, I had enough for a single and... See, okay, at the time of doing this challenge, I really thought nothing of this, but Razor was actually a pretty decent option for triggering Hyperbloom. Not the best, not the worst, but for some reason, I didn't really think of it. Regardless, I got a free wish from him, and I managed to get another 4-star. This actually wasn't terrible. I'll take it. I finally managed to reach the Ruin Serpent and defeated him pretty quickly. And then I finally unlocked this event, which would be another good source of primos for me. And at this point of the run, I was at 68 pity. I was getting very close to soft pity. But as usual, did 2 more wishes, got nothing. Then after some more grinding, I did my 71st and my 72nd wish. And at this point, I decided I would make my way to Enkanomiya, as it would have a lot of primos waiting for me. And off we go! Is it just me, or is this place just like forgotten by the whole community? Does anyone still go here? Because I don't. They should let you do commissions here. I'm just saying, okay? My 73rd wish ended up being a 4-star, and after a bit more grinding, it finally happened. Would my run continue, or would it be ruined? Let's go! Yes! Fuck yeah! And the run continues. Getting Nahida was so crucial for this challenge, and it honestly felt like a ton of weight was just lifted off my shoulders. Anyway, so after I got Nahida, I did a little bit of farming, and I fought the Dendro Cube, who is literally immune to Hyper Blooms. So after like 10 minutes, I finally managed to defeat it. Ascended Nahida, as well as Kuki, twice. Also leveled up the Sack Fragments up to 60. And now with Nahida finally on the account, I decided to spend any future primos on either the weapon banner or the standard so that I could possibly try to get a crowd control character like Sucrose, as I mentioned before, or maybe something else that might be useful to me. I don't know. But anyways, I finally reached AR 35 and got rid of Raiden's lightning. Then we arrived at Sumeri Island, which unlocked the final map part for Inazuma. I finished the Adventurer's Trial event and ended up getting a Hazo, which for a split second I actually thought of using as like a budget Sucrose / driver character, but I ended up scrapping that idea. Sorry, Hazo. And with reaching AR 35, I did the Ascension quest again, which was a lot easier this time because I had Nahida to destroy the prisms. Then I decided to level Kuki again to 70, as well as Nahida to level 50. And then I started to do some exploration in the chasm. Did some more exploring on Sumeri Island. Fought a whole ass war. Are you trying to tell me something? Oh, okay. Only real ones cry during this scene. Tepe, no! Anyways, I encountered the Balladeer, or Scaramouche, or Scaramucci, did some Raiden Shogun training, and eventually went toe-to-toe with the 8th Harbinger. Or, well, I guess I should say the former 8th Harbinger, because, yeah, yeah, she's definitely dead. And after being on shrooms for a little bit... Wait! Kazuhu! Bro, please just give me a chance. One, I swear, that's it. Anyways, after a while, I finally managed to beat Raiden and completed the quest. I did a couple more standard wishes, and at this point, I was exactly at 75 pity, which means I'm finally at soft pity. I got my AR-39 rewards, and... Okay, now I don't know why I didn't think of this at the time, but Kaching was actually a viable character to use for this challenge, but I guess I didn't really think of it until I finished. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I ascended the sack fragments up to level 60, did some more domain runs for weapon materials, ascended it again, and leveled it up to 70. I then did another standard wish, and I got the Favonius Lance. Actually pretty good if I ever have energy problems. I then started up the Sumeru Archon quest, took some more shrooms, and eventually reached AR-40. Then I ascended the Iron Sting and leveled it up to 80. And so at this point, I was finally preparing for the Abyss. So I ended up fighting a bunch of bosses so that I could level up all the characters that I needed for this challenge. I then started farming for some artifacts, even though I wasn't at AR-45 yet, which means I don't get a guaranteed gold every run, which sucks, but you know, oh well. A lot of these sadly were pretty shit, to be honest, but I quickly did some Abyss runs and was able to clear floor 5, floor 6, and also floor 7. I used up all the primos that I got from the Abyss on the standard banner, and the best thing that I got was Boken to Boken. That was until I got one last final wish from leveling Lisa up. The fuck? Another fucking Kaching. Literally, you can't even make this up. This game fucking hates me. And so after a bunch of artifact leveling, I decided to start the Abyss for now and see how far I could go. And so for the first half, I used Kale, DMC, Xingqiu, and Lisa. And for the second half, I used Nahida, Rosaria, Barbara, and Kuki. Anyways, Chamber 1 of Floor 9 wasn't too bad. It was filled with a bunch of slimes and mushrooms. And so after about a minute and a half, I managed to clear it. Chamber 2 was just some Aromites and treasure hoarders, and they also weren't too bad. Also, keep in mind that I had 5 minutes to complete this, but I really didn't need that much as I completed it just under 3 minutes. The first half of Chamber 2 was just a bunch of different churls, and I cleared them out in a minute 40. And the second half had some slimes and abyss mages, which I managed to take out in about a minute. Chamber 3 was more mushrooms. Didn't take too long. And the second half was more Aromites, which were also fairly easy. And so now I'm at floor 10, and I also stuck with the same teams. Chamber 1 was, yeah, more of these fucks. Things were definitely getting a little bit harder now, and this half took me almost 2.5 minutes to complete. The second half had the 2 big Vishaps, which were surprisingly easy as I managed to take them out in about a minute. Chamber 2 first half was some Nobushi mixed with some ranged shooter dudes, and although I got my ass beat a couple times, I eventually got through it. And then the second half had the big Lava Churl and an Electro Abyss Mage, and these guys were honestly pretty easy, nothing too difficult. Chamber 3 is where things started to get hard. This Aeromite was able to tank so many hits without being interrupted, as well as having the Abyss Disorder under her that would spawn bubbles that felt like she was doing it every 3 goddamn seconds. There was also the Aeromite with the big-ass Electro Sword who hits like a truck, as well as the Cryo Aeromite who was really damn annoying. And let's not forget about the Cryo Fatui either, okay? If I couldn't kill him before he got a shield up, I might as well just give up at that point, because there was no way in hell I was killing him with his shield on. Oh, and did I mention the Pyro Fatui, who literally one-shot snipes you just fucking randomly? You bitch. So yeah, this one took a while. And even when I was getting close to completing it, Kali ended up dying. Although I still continued since it was Chamber 3 and it didn't really matter if my character was dead because it wouldn't carry over to the next floor. And after all that, I was met with a Mirror Maiden and 2 Electro Sisson Mages. Now, normally this wouldn't be too bad, but the stupid Mommy Maiden had the Disorder effect that slows your cooldown by 1,000,000 seconds, as well as the stupid bats shooting their little Electro jizz at me the whole time. I managed to almost take down the Mirror Maiden, which is really the main problem, but I couldn't do it. No! Oh, I have to redo that. Yep, I had to restart the first half again, which already was enough trouble as it is, so here you go. Enjoy some rage moments. Dude, whatever the... Dude, chill the fuck out. I was in the middle of a fucking animation. What do you mean? Okay. How am I dying so fast? Dude, that he shoots at the perfect fucking time. And then finally, for some odd reason, I had the God run. Wait, that was fucking amazing. Oh my god. What the fuck? And I managed to beat the chamber in less than 45 seconds. That was incredible. Just don't fucking die. Just take your time. Take your time. Please. Please. The fuck is this? Thank you. Fuck yes. Let's go. Piece of shit. Fuck all of you. Safe to say, I was very happy. Moving on to floor 11. The first chamber had more shrooms, but these guys were a lot beefier than the previous ones. But the good thing is that I didn't have to worry about time since it was a defense chamber, and I ended the first half off with 96% left. Great start. The second half had this huge aeromite along with these floating triangle things, and eventually I came to the conclusion that my characters were just dying way too fast. I decided that I would farm a little bit more artifacts, and eventually, after some more leveling, I made my way right back. Let's fucking go. Did I do it? I did it. Let's go. And then I started chamber 2. This was the beginning of the end. To start it off, there's one pyro sniper who has a fire ring under him. And whenever you're in the vicinity of that huge ring and it pulses like this, well, prepare to get your HP drained continuously. We're out here doing our best Shao impression. Lament. On top of that, there is not one, but two of these dickheads, which makes for a very fun time. But regardless, I ended up taking them down, and for some reason, I thought that would be it for this chamber, but clearly not. There's more! This next set of enemies had two snipers, one aeromite with another different ring disorder under her, as well as two crossbow dudes just straight launching shit at me the whole time. Safe to say, it wasn't very fun. After many attempts and many resets. Alright, so live Deelo talking here. We ran into a little bit of a problem. I have come to the conclusion that Lisa sucks. I decided to test out Kaching if she would work in a Hyperbloom team, and she does. And she's a lot better than Lisa, and I don't know why I didn't build her. So the problem here is that Lisa was not cutting it. She couldn't reliably apply Electro to Hyperbloom without her burst, and her burst cost is a massive 80 energy, and I didn't have enough resources to build any energy recharge on her. So I decided to roll with Kaching, which for some odd reason didn't cross my mind at all when I pulled her twice, not once, but twice. But I figured she would be a better option at Hyperbloom than Lisa, and so after farming a bunch more for her materials, PS, me and all my homies fucking hate Core Lapis, remove it from the game, thank you. I finally ascended her to level 80 and put her on an EM weapon with all EM artifacts. I then got ready for the final battle, gearing up all my characters just so I could have a sliver of hope to complete this. I even built Beto a little bit because she had the Favonius, which was good for energy, as well as a parry so I could get myself out of like some sticky situations. And I was back for the final attempt of this cursed challenge. Now, Kaching was definitely better than Lisa. She had the ability to Hyperbloom a lot more and was overall a lot easier to manage than Lisa. However, the problem that I realized wasn't that I didn't have enough time to do this. I had 5 whole minutes to complete it, and it wasn't that the enemy's health was just too much. I could defeat them at a good pace. It was the simple fact that I was too squishy. For the life of me, I could not stay alive. I had no shielder and one healer, which is only for one side of the abyss. And I just couldn't manage to stay alive. I spent hours trying this. And eventually, with the little hope that I had left, I managed to get past the first half. The second half went a little like this. There was 2 Fatuis, 1 Cryo and 1 Animo, as well as the annoying Electro Aeromite. And after some time, I was actually able to beat all of them. And then I was met with this. A Mirror Maiden with a ring under her that spawns bubbles, I fucking hate bubbles. Like I said, the problem wasn't doing damage or the time remaining. I literally just had no way to group these guys up with someone like Sucrose or Kazuha, and I had to continuously dodge and waste time due to no healing, and eventually I suffered the inevitable fate of death. And trust me, I tried everything. I even tried building a Bennett because I needed healing that badly. And finally, after a couple more hours of trying, I gave up. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I really do appreciate it. And like I've said before, I've spent months working on this video. So if you do enjoy it, hey, I mean, drop a sub, maybe leave a like. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's just a reminder. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.